While we're on the topic of tornadoes, there were tornado warnings in Alberta through Saturday evening. Luckily, no reports of any tornadoes touching down. It was all associated with that low pressure system. But storm chaser Matt Johnson was there and he shared with us his experience. There was a lot of rotation indicated on the radar. Luckily, Sunday's not going to be as active as a day for you in Alberta or Saskatchewan. But Manitoba, the risk for thunderstorms, and certainly northwestern Ontario, you could see some of the strongest thunderstorms of anywhere in the country. Southern Ontario, just an isolated risk of thunderstorm activity. Okay, don't go anywhere. Kim takes us around the world next. Thank you very much, Kim. And still to come throughout the show, it was a very active night in Alberta. There were tornado warnings. They have all come to an end, but now the focus will shift into northwestern Ontario for Sunday. Also throughout the show, we'll have an update on the forest fires, the wildfires burning across the west. There is a state of emergency issued in British Columbia, and we'll talk about that coming up throughout the show. But let's just focus on the big weather stories across the country. These are the cloud tops, and you can see this system in particular across the prairies has caused most of the problems. It was a very humid day in Manitoba on Saturday. It's going to be just as humid for Sunday, and that's where the active weather is heading next. But look at some of these temperatures from Saturday. I mean, only 19 degrees in Edmonton. Compare that to Calgary, 26 degrees, and the thunderstorms were quite intense. We can showcase some of the photos from some of our viewers in the area. But again, the thunderstorms produced a lot of large hail across Alberta. There were tornado warnings at one point in time. They have all come to an end. And as I mentioned, that risk for thunderstorms is now pushing. It's still there across the prairies, but it's pushing into northwestern Ontario for Sunday. So that's going to be our big story through the day. Now, if you could stay with us, that would be great. Still to come, we're going to update you on those wildfires across the west, as I mentioned.
For your quick...
Okay, so I don't know how you felt about the day on Saturday here in southern Ontario. Not the greatest day we've had all weekend, certainly, or all summer, I should say, and certainly not the greatest weekend we've had all summer. Let's take a look at our Sunday morning forecast. Unfortunately, that rain continues, that cloud cover. The good news I can give you is that after some cool temperatures through the day on Saturday, I mean, downtown Toronto did not hit 21 degrees. We're a good 6 or 7 degrees below seasonal right across the board. Well, the good news is temperatures are going to be slightly warmer for Sunday and more humid. And I should say that's good news if you like humidity. And I think a lot of people at this time of year enjoy it. Like that guy on the bike, he's ready for some humidity, I think. On Friday, there was a lot of traffic. It seems like, well, in the city of Toronto, there's always traffic, but people heading home early if you have summer hours and you get Friday afternoons off or you're heading to the cottage. It's interesting because through cottage country on Sunday, we do have the potential to see some isolated thunder showers. This is the rain total through the weekend, and we've already seen the bulk of it. It's really just those misty, showery conditions left on Sunday, and then the potential for some thunder showers. So it includes Toronto and Hamilton, Niagara Falls around the Golden Horseshoe, and extends up toward cottage country. The potential is there. Not everyone is going to see a thunder shower, and they should stay non-severe in nature. Take a look at this. For Sunday in Toronto, it's going to feel like 29, feel like 32 by Monday. We'll talk more about our long-range forecast coming up next. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. You know, people in Atlantic Canada are probably thinking, oh, I hope this weather continues right through the long-range forecast. Will your skies be this blue? Well, in Atlantic Canada for Sunday, they will be with high pressure in place. The biggest story for Sunday is certainly going to be in through northwestern Ontario, the risk for some pretty nasty storms. But what happens after that? Where is all of the active weather going to be? There's not a lot in Atlantic Canada this week, fairly quiet. We could see a few spotty showers in around St. John's by Tuesday with that passing low. But in southern and central Ontario through southern Quebec, it's really going to be Wednesday in the long range when we see some stronger thunderstorms rolling in from that system from the prairies. So it's going to be hot and humid, and Wednesday could be a stormy day. Halifax, though, it's sunshine right across the board. Temperatures in the low to mid 20s. Great looking long range forecast. And here's Toronto for Sunday, back up to feeling like the upper 20s and then low to mid 30s through most of the rest of the week. And Wednesday, as I mentioned, the risk for some showers and thunderstorms. What about the west? Well, in British Columbia, it's been high and dry for so long with high pressure in place and really warm. Spotty showers continue for the lower mainland into Sunday. And then by the time we hit midweek, overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, we could see some heavier rain. We're talking maybe 20 to 30 millimeters of rain in around the Vancouver area. And across the prairies, it's a typical next few days ahead. We're looking at heat on the rise for Winnipeg again for Sunday, feeling like the upper 30s, still feeling like the low 30s for Monday. But every day, the risk for a thunder shower here or there. Don't go anywhere. Well, speaking of wildfires, an update now on the wildfires currently burning across the west. And I'll tell you, the thunderstorms associated with this low pressure system were actually good news for the air quality in Alberta. The advisories from Environment Canada have come to an end in Alberta because of the rain and strong winds with your thunderstorms. In British Columbia, they continue. So let's start in British Columbia first. We'll check out the government website just to give you an idea of where the fires are burning and how many of them are burning. And you can see the little pockets, especially through the southern and central interior, just all over the place. And a number of our viewers have also submitted pictures to our website, theweathernetwork.com, showcasing it's still burning pretty much out of control at this point in time. So there are a number of fires of concern in British Columbia, and as I mentioned, air quality is still a concern as well right through the interior, but in Alberta it has come to an end. So let's head to Alberta next, because there are still a number of fires burning. If we check out their website, they do it a little bit different, kind of like stoplights. Green is good in the sense that fires are being held or under control. Yellow, they're being held, and red, burning out of control. And if we take you to Alberta now and just showcase kind of where the fires are that are burning out of control, we'll start with a look at, again, some of our photos from viewers in the region. I think the Edmonton, even in Calgary, reports of the smoky, hazy conditions. But the Edson one is the big one, currently burning out of control at this point in time. Weather not doing a lot of help. I mean, there is a good 10 to 20 millimeters of rain through the BC interior, a bit more rain through the day Sunday in Alberta, but mostly just with thunderstorms, so it will come very localized. Even in around Vancouver, you haven't seen a lot of rain over the last few weeks, and spotty showers will continue. Hey, speaking of thunderstorms, a waterspout, a typhoon, and a state of emergency, all in this edition of Force of Nature Extended. Let's start with one state of emergency that was issued back on Friday, and to walk on the moon. We thought that was pretty cool. Just wanted to share that with you and remind you of the big anniversary. As far as our weather is concerned here in southern Ontario, we do have the potential for more spotty showers and gloomy conditions on Sunday and maybe an embedded thunderstorm, but the big thunderstorm event this week will likely be on Wednesday. So you can see that low pressure system moving in from the prairies. We have a lot of heat and humidity building up over the next few days. Even Sunday, we're going to be feeling like the upper 20s again, low to mid 30s for, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so when you get that heat and humidity and you get that next low pressure system moving in, you do get the right recipe for some thunderstorms. So while we're looking at thunder showers for Sunday, more like the garden variety type of thunder showers, thunder, lightning, some rain, it's actual thunderstorms potentially for Wednesday, and that's one story we wanted to bring to your attention. Temperatures weren't so great on Saturday, were they? We got up to about 21 degrees in Toronto. It will be warmer over the next few days, and we'll take a closer look at temperatures ahead. But in our next segment, we have to take you to Alberta.